Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to the player ratings for Arsenal's nil-nil draw away at Leeds United. I have a guest with me. Cozy, always amazing working with you. How are you?
I don't know. I don't know. Am I great? I'm not great, but I'm not in the worst of moods. But I'm absolutely lost. I don't know I don't know how to feel. But health-wise, I'm fine, and I'm very glad to be back. Glenn, sorry, it's so good to work with you.
Awesome, man. So we drew nil-nil, could have been worse. We'll take the point, I guess, because of the way the game turned out. But
Yeah.
before the game, how are you feeling before the game? Like before anything was announced, were you expecting a win? Were you expecting a draw? I never asked you for your prediction for this game.
It's true, but I was a little bit, insecure about Leeds. Traveling away to Leeds, they have had a very good start. I think among like I said it before, among the promoted sides, they have been so brilliant. They've been so different. You look at how
Hmm.
Fulham are playing and West Brom. Leeds are outstanding. It's like they have been in the Premier League for the last 1 or 2 years. They've been so good, and the way Michel Bills has set up his team, they're brilliant. But after losing to Aston Villa, I was so insecure. I never thought we could beat this. I never thought we could have, we could get a point. I still remember that game when they, where they showed a 1-1 draw with Manchester City. They were so brilliant. It was hard for me to believe that we could actually get a point. But I predicted it a 3-1. By the way, if anybody missed my prediction, I predicted a 3-1, courtesy of the 2-4-1 losses they conceded against Leicester City and against Crystal Palace. So I thought maybe that would be a building block. And the fact that we needed to bounce back from that Aston Villa loss at the Emirates Stadium, everything could add up to a win. He thought it was a must win for Mikel Arteta. He thought it was a time when he had to win, but you know the insecurity was there before the game.
Yeah, true. So I had predicted a 4-3. Didn't see lack of goals in this game, and they should have had 5 goals for themselves. But for us,
Yeah,
there are a
yeah,
couple of chances, Saka and all that. We should have had maybe two, but we didn't take them, and that makes it almost 8 hours since we scored an open play goal. Literally, the last 5 games we've scored one goal, and it was a penalty. So definitely something is definitely very, very wrong. I want your thoughts on the lineup, what you thought about the lineup. I'll put it on screen right now. What you thought about the lineup.
the lineup, I think there were a few positives. One, Aubameyang playing down through the middle. It was a positive. We have been asking for that. I think for the past 8 games, he has been playing down through the left. This time he played through the middle, so everybody was happy. Pepe was introduced, and everybody was like, okay, this is Mikel Arteta now getting everything right. I thought it was a brilliant move. After Pepe shouting in the media and all that, it was brilliant. It was brilliant bringing him playing on the right side of the pitch. Without Thomas Partey and then it was quite predictable that Xhaka and then Ceballos would be the midfield men, and it was, but nobody expected Willock, not even me. Of course, for issues of creativity and so on, we have always asked for one of the young lads to step up, to be introduced into the side, either Emily Smith Rowe, or Jose Willock, or Rhys Nelson. And I thought it was Jose Willock that deserved the chance because he has been doing so well out in the Europa League. But
Mhm.
overall, the lineup was okay. David Luiz out there nursing his baby mama and the baby, so you don't expect him to play today. He's a baby daddy, so he's there, I don't know, celebrating the birth of his kid. So the defense was okay. They did a great job apart from Bellerin. Yeah, Granit Xhaka, Danny Ceballos, maybe just a Willock. I did expect him. He was a surprise. I would want to see him appear, for us, though, frequently, on a frequent basis. I want to see what he can offer. But Aubameyang playing down through the middle, that was the talking point. That was what all of us wanted, and we still want to see that. It doesn't matter whether he has scored. doesn't matter. We still want to see Aubameyang play down through the middle, and we need to see either Wiilian, Reece Nelson, or Bukayo Saka playing on the left and then on the right. But maybe what I can talk about that lineup is it was so hard for Mikel Arteta to drop Bukayo Saka, and for me, there wasn't any reason. There wasn't any reason as to why he dropped Saka. Wiilian was out in Dubai. Of course, if he didn't play, that would have been explained as a punishment, as a penalty. But I was surprised to see Wiilian start. Okay, that was brilliant. But I thought Saka needed a start. He needs to start every game. He's one of our best performers, best players, young best performer in the league. There's no way you're leaving him out on the bench. Wiilian is not is not performing and is not giving us anything like positive output. So leaving Saka out on the bench was a mistake. Maybe that's the mistake I saw in that lineup, but the rest was just quite predictable. Like I said, apart from Willock.
I'd say Saka played 3 games for England, 90 minutes. Yeah. So maybe if he started him, he would have gotten an injury, which he got anyway when he came on. We were unlucky with Leno getting COVID and Pepe getting injured. At the back, Luis are positive for him, but I don't know. These things always happen when we're in trouble. People are getting babies. We are losing more players. I know it's very good, but not when we are 14th in the table and we need a win.
I know.
I know. Happy for him. So it was unlucky getting those injuries and stuff, but
yeah, and actually, if you look at David Luiz's role was missed so much today. It was all about because they were pressing, they had the ball. It was either Leeds having the ball or Leeds having the ball. So, at this point in time, you need someone who's going to release Aubameyang. You need, those through balls to Aubameyang, and that's why you play him, right through the middle. But they were not coming through. Xhaka was not doing it. Danny Ceballos was not doing it. It was only Pepe who tried to get off. I think it was Wiilian. Was it at halftime? Yeah. No. Was it at halftime? I think it was at halftime. Yeah, trying to get Wiilian, and it was just, overpowered. I think if we had David Luiz today, it should have been, something different. Maybe Aubameyang would have been more involved in the game. But of course, you don't predict when, a woman is going to give birth, and as a man, you need to be there for her and so on. Yeah. So we were unfortunate.
For us, Aubameyang, I was telling people 2 things before the game. I don't feel like Pepe does any better than Wiilian anyway. This season has been probably the same. They're both not performing and stuff. So he wasn't really seeing his argument of wanting to play. And when he got the chance, he let himself down. He'll now be out for the important games. And Aubameyang, even if you have Messi or Timo Werner up front, it doesn't matter. We are not creating chances, so he still wouldn't score a goal. That's the problem. So we're not creating any chances for him, unfortunately. So let me talk about. So you're happy with the starting lineup?
It was okay. It was okay. I have no big problems with it.
Okay, so player ratings time. Player ratings time. I mean, it won't be as high as Man United's game, and it won't be as low as
Aston Villa.
Probably. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's start with let me read for a few comments here first. Arteta out, I stand by what I say. HJ90, I see you, man. Thank you for being here. 1 point between a newly promoted team and last season's lowest. I know. 1 point from Leeds and Aston Villa. I know. 7 points in Spurs, Wolves, Burnley, or Arteta out. I think now we need to start winning games because now United are also above us and we were laughing at them. Arteta has
this is a time when you ask yourself if you want 7 points out of Wolves, Spurs, and Leeds. Leeds is the easy fixture. Wolves, how many times have we beaten Wolves? And if you look at our current state, we are not in any state that can beat Wolves. Spurs, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to think about that Spurs fixture because it's just hell. You're walking yourself into hell, and the result. I think the result is already premeditated. Spurs are gonna get a positive result in that.
If we play like that, definitely Spurs will win the game, unfortunately. Player ratings time. The first one we're going to talk about is Leno, probably our man of the match. What did you make of him today?
He's outstanding. I've always believed in him as a shot stopper. problems. I think the problems I have with Leno is, when do you punch the ball and when do you hold it? How do you punch the ball and how far? Those are the only problems I have with him. And maybe his passing is so poor. Today, before the second half, in the first half, there's that ball he punched, right on the boot of Click, and that's like, if Click had taken it first time, it should have been 1-0. It should have been 1-0. That is the only problem I have with Leno. But it's a very good shot stopper. Today he was so brilliant. He got a clean sheet. He earned it. It was his clean sheet. Yeah, I know the defense was also quite decent, apart from a few men who I think had a bad game. But I think Leno was quite brilliant, decent. He was forced to make a couple of saves, especially Patrick Bamford twice in the first half. I thought if Bamford had added more energy to those balls, I don't know if Leno would have been still equal to the challenge. But that is what would have happened. What happened is he was equal to the challenge. Of course, he was also lucky. There are some balls that hit the woodwork, and you're like, maybe if the goal was a little bit stretched by 1.1 meters, he wouldn't have gone lucky. But all in all, he had a good performance. I think I can award him a 7.8. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.8 out of 10.
7.8. I'll actually give him a 9. No, not even a 9. An 8, a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. He was the man of the match. Like 7, 8 very good saves. Otherwise, we would have lost the game. He even got his arm injured because of useless defending. He got himself injured. So I'm going to give him a 9 for today. Our man of the match, definitely. So 7.8 for you. The next one is let's start with the centre backs. Holding. I mean, we've talked about him so many times. What did you make of him today?
It was too shaky in the first half. Too shaky. And the disadvantage he has, Rob Holding plays up the field where Bellerin plays. And both of them are easy to exploit. That's the problem. Now, let me tell you guys, one of the things that Gabriel Magalhaes prides in is playing with Tierney down on the left. You see, whenever you're playing with a player who is good, your quality, your ability also rises. Now, the truth is, he was shaky, in the first half. Really, really shaky. There's an incident where he gave away the ball, taken onto the counter, and he couldn't recover that ball. And that's like, in the first place, why did you lose that ball so easily? But in the second half, when we were under more pressure, I thought he was a little bit more solid. He was a little bit more confident. I don't think it was a nightmare for us, and it wasn't a nightmare for him, especially in the second half. I'm going to give any defender credit because we were 10 men against 11. We got a stupid red card from someone who has been crying for football, and he gets in onto the pitch and does a lot of nonsense. I think the defenders were so composed. That composure. I wish I could see that composure from the defense throughout the season. It would be. We are going to be one of the hardest teams to score against. But Rob Holding, if I give Leno a 7.8, of course I'm going to give him. I'll give him a 6.9. I'll give him a 6.9.
6.9. I think I'm going to give him a 6. Probably first half he was very, very shaky, but since we kept a clean sheet with 10 men, he didn't really stand out like that. I didn't see any blocks, anything like that. So I'm going to give him a 6. So the next one is his partner. What did you make of his partner, Gabriel?
Yeah, for me, Gabriel, apart from the Aston Villa game when we looked so bad as a team, he keeps on impressing day in, day out, match in, match out. He keeps on impressing us. He keeps on doing the things that you thought a 100 million defender has to do, a 200 million defender has to do. He's doing them, and he's just 27 million pounds of a defender. So the area dwells, I really love him in the air. I don't know whether you guys still notice what I noticed when he's on the pitch. The area dwells, he's brilliant. He's so brilliant. It's like you don't have players who can score off his head. It's very hard, really very hard to win area dwells against him. And I thought there were only 2 chances where Leeds got so close to scoring with the head, but the rest was so brilliant and on spot. Today for me, the ground dwells have not been so perfect, and that's why Leno forced away so many serves. Ground dwells for Gabriel have not been so perfect, but the leadership and the way he commands that defense, the way he positions himself, he goes back, but he knows when to come back. Today that was it was all about that. If Leeds lose the ball, how far do you go and how fast do you draw back? He did that so brilliantly. 7 out of 10. I'll give him 7 out of 10. Leno is my highest mark, 7.8. I think he was so good. It was yeah.
This is the header you're talking about, I think.
Exactly. Exactly. And you see, it was a holding challenge, but holding is so bad in the air. I don't know whether it's so good, on the ground, but in the air, you don't put holding up against anyone. You're losing it up. Yeah, you'll be losing it.
So 7 point what for Gabriel? 7.5?
7, a plain 7.
Okay, the next one is going to be our left back Tierney.
Tierney today, attacking wise, he was off, but I understand why. He's used to playing with Bukayo Saka and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang down the left. This time it was only one player available, and that was Wiilian. They never clicked so well. They never. It was negative up against negative. We joined 2 negative buttons and we got a negative result. So, but defensive wise, it was okay. I didn't see him being exploited so much. Actually, if you look at how Leeds play today, they knew the weak link. It was Bellerin. They always try to exploit us using the Bellerin wing. Before halftime, then even in the second half, they tried so much to break us down using the Bellerin. And the few times when they visited the Tierney, wing, I thought he did so well. He was equal to the challenge, but he let me down going forward. I expected him to bring in a couple of decent crosses for Aubameyang because Aubameyang was down through the middle. I expected him and Bellerin to create some chances for Aubameyang. He didn't, but still, as a defender, this time I think he was brilliant. He was better than Bellerin, better than Rob Holding. I still give him a 7 with Gabriel.
7. He was almost also fighting someone at the end. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but I think so many crosses came from his side. A lot of them, like that on the one for Bamford. They were kind of letting Rodrigo come in all the time. I didn't like that side in the middle. Xhaka, Gabriel team letting Rodrigo turn every time. So I think I'll give him a 6 just because he kept a clean sheet. The next one is going to be we finished the defender of Bellerin. We still have Bellerin. Now Bellerin made a couple of very good runs. We should have scored from those. But again, a foul throw. I don't understand how he gets a foul throw in every single game. What did you make of him?
Bellerin. I think that player with so many questions in the squad, but he still makes it in there. Yeah, he made a couple of runs, and I think he released Bukayo Saka at the perfect time. Perfect timing in the game. If not for anything, Saka should have scored that. But he didn't. But for me, I didn't like him, especially in the first half. Overexploited. Leeds overexploited him. So many crosses came through his right wing at halftime, and I thought they should have, they could have cost us something. But like I said, nobody was so bad in that defense because we didn't concede. That's the truth. You're not going to give someone 3 or 2 in a clean sheet. You'll be absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to give him a 6 today, but he needs to work on his defending. Going up front, he's a brilliant player. He's a good player. If only Saka could get his composure and score that goal, it should have been, something different, but he didn't. And I thought Bellerin deserved credit, although Saka didn't score. So I'll give him a 6, although his defensive, ability doesn't satisfy me at on any day.
So if Saka scored that, would you give Bellerin a higher one if he won the game?
Yeah, I'll give him something like 7. I'll give him something like a 7.
Okay, let's get into the midfield. Obviously, this is not the midfield that has been starting, but this is the midfield that won us the FA Cup last season. So Xhaka, what do you make of Xhaka? There is the first half, they were very tight with, I think it was Klitsch and was it Dallas, I think. They were marking each other throughout the game.
Yeah.
So
actually, Ceballos, then Xhaka were matching so well with Dallas and Click, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun in the midfield. But in the second half, everything changed. Now, Granit Xhaka, I don't know. I'm really tired of commenting about Granit Xhaka because I feel every day that he's dropping something. Every day he's dropping something on his ability, on his form, the pace and everything. Today he was not so brilliant. That's the truth. And at halftime, I think he tried to run around. He had not played so many games. I think in the past 2 games in the league was not featuring. So I thought, he's doing well. He was running around, but in the second half, Leeds had a complete takeover of that midfield. It was like we never had Granit Xhaka. It's like we never had a tall, big man to bully, those those Leeds midfielders. And you thought if Potter was there, maybe it should have been something different, because Xhaka and Ceballos against Leeds, you expected to get that ball, hold it, but also try to drive it forward. We never saw things like that from Granit Xhaka. Still, I'll go with a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Before we get into Ceballos, let's read these comments. HJ90 said that out, I stand by what I say. Cookie says I've been defending Pepe over here. We'll get to Pepe. Leno 8.2. Is that too high or low for you, Cozy?
I gave him a 7.8. If I gave him a 7.8, someone gives him an 8.2. Same range, it's okay. He was brilliant. The truth is, he was brilliant. You can't take anything away from his performance today.
Cookie is very frustrated. He's even complaining about the medical team. He says, "Why do we need so many people inside the pitch?" Leno's the only good player on the pitch. I think I would agree. Nelson, Pepe, will come to that. Holding 5.9, Gabriel 7.9. By the way, if you want to convert that to the nearest whole number, if it's 7.9, you can just give him an 8. Cookie also says, Glenn, you said to give at that time, but let's be honest, if it was Wenger or Emery, we would have been the angriest people in the world. But because it was one of Saka, I mean, today you can't blame Ateta Cookie. Yes, we didn't score a goal, but it was Pepe. Probably would have scored in the second half, but Pepe literally cost us the game very early in the second half, and there was no chance we were going to win. The Leeds man should have been sent off before Pepe. I mean, Pepe is just, I'd say that is a stupid thing to do. That was a red card. I don't think the other one should have gotten a red card, so it was him to blame. So next one, cause is Ceballos. Was he better than Xhaka?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. In the first half, I think he engaged in play with Willock. They tried to take that ball forward for some minutes, and I want everybody to listen to me. They did it for a few minutes. For Christ's sake, you need to do that for 90 minutes, not for just a few minutes. Yeah, I saw him. He was trying to make his presence happen. To be seen. He was trying to create chances, engage in play. But the truth is, this season, he's not brilliant. He's not brilliant. Not that he has not even been playing, but the times he has come on the pitch, I've asked myself, what is Danny Ceballos doing on the pitch these days? Is he a defensive midfielder? Is he a number 8? Is he a number 10? Is he there to fill positions? I'm still asking myself, whenever I look at him, his passing is poor, ball recovering is poor, chance creation is 0, assist making. The only assist I remember, I think it was For Eddie Nketiah against West Ham, that was too early in the season. I really get confused when.
Yeah. He gave a good pass to Lacazette against Liverpool, where Lacazette missed those two chances.
Okay, maybe that, but I really get lost when I think about Dani Ceballos and his role at Arsenal these days. I think maybe Mikel Arteta was carried away too early and too easily to bring him back as and fully trust him. We should have gotten another player, a better player. Maybe Isco should have done the job better if we had pursued him. Today, I don't see him any different with from Granit Xhaka. Actually, Xhaka's presence was felt more whenever we never had the ball. But Ceballos, no, I'll give him a 5.5.
What had I written for him? I think I'd written for him, I think 5. I think I'd given him a 5. I think there's a part in the first half, Dallas was just running. He didn't have anyone to mark. They had so many shots outside the box. Our midfield, there's no shape to it. There's no communication. When one goes, the other one also goes. There's no one who remains back. So many problems in our midfield. And clearly you can already see we missed Pepe and Leno in the middle. And I think when they come back, these two drop back to the bench again. So Ceballos 5. Your guy, Willock, what did you give Willock today? Before I get to Willock, Ceballos also had a free kick. And I was just like, what are you doing? He didn't even shoot it on target. I was like, what are you doing? So yeah, the next one is Willock. Were you happy he started?
I don't see any reason, even in his history, why Dani Ceballos should stand on a free kick. I really don't see one. But Jose Willock, my man, my boy, finally gets his start for Arsenal in the Premier League this season. I'm still trying to get the right words to use, against his performance.
Yeah.
The truth is, he was not so good. He wasn't so good. Now, for Jose Willock, I understand. These are Wenger projects. These are Arsene Wenger projects. They work when you have the ball. They are so good when you're passing the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You understand? That is, those are the Wenger boys, the Arsene Wenger boys. Now, you get a player like Jose Willock, you bring him in this Arteta, Mourinho kind of play, sit back, sit behind the ball, then I even don't know, because when we get that ball, we don't even run towards, we don't run at a terrific speed towards the goal. Because you see, Willock is not a terrific runner. He's not running, he doesn't run at a terrific speed. He is, nurtured as a number 10. Pass the ball, and he's going to find the final pass. But if you do not bring the ball to his feet, if you do not get players in the right positions around him, then you've literally killed him out of the game. And we killed him as soon as we brought him in the game. I don't see any remarkable points to talk about Jose Willock, but maybe I can say a 5.6, better than Dani Ceballos, a 5.6. But truth, there are no talking points about Jose Willock, and I don't want to blame him. His playing style is dominate the game, let him find the final passes to the final man. That is his kind of play. You introduce him in a game where you've come to defend. He's not a defender. He doesn't play that kind of football, for Christ's sake. He doesn't even run very fast. If you wanted a person who can run and sprint, maybe it should have been Reece Nelson playing that position. Yeah. But if you want Jose Willock to work for you, you don't sit behind the ball and then start splitting at the opponent. That's not Jose Willock. I'll give him 5.6, but I don't blame him so much.
I actually give him 6 because in the first half, there's a couple of times he drove with the ball and he was already better than anything we had. He's maybe the closest thing to Saka, him and Nelson, in terms of running at people and moving with the ball. So I'd give him a 6 because it wasn't his fault. And I think he was better than most people on the pitch. So 6 for him. So those are the midfielders. And then up front, which disaster do you want to start with? I'll start with Wiilian. What would you give Willian, and what did you make of it? Being subbed off at halftime, I felt so embarrassed for him because that just shows you're not doing anything, and that's why you were subbed off and a youngster was brought in.
Wiilian, the song at Arsenal for the past 4 months. We were so happy when it was coming. I'm even ashamed of myself. I was so happy when we were signing Wiilian. I was flying. But right now, I don't know what to say. The truth is, Wiilian, he's doing a lot of nothing with the ball, but he appears to do, to be doing something. Running around, crossing over the middle, running up and down, but there isn't anything he's doing. And I think he limited Tierney down on that left, on that left wing. He limited Tierney, because if you look at Aubameyang, when Aubameyang is down on the left, Tierney is so brilliant. He's so good. He's making the runs, playing 1-2 with Aubameyang, bringing in those crosses and so on. With Wiilian, it's not the same kind of play. When Wiilian has the ball, he doesn't want to release it. He wants to have it, enter the box and so on. And you're like, he kept Tierney completely out of the game. And in the end result, he did nothing in that halftime. And getting off at halftime, that was okay. That was brilliant. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I don't know what he did to deserve a 5 out of 10, but I'll give him a 5 out of 10. He's one player. Yeah, one player that I even don't know if Saka can play and Reece Nelson. Let us keep Wiilian on the bench for the meantime.
5 out of 10. You're very kind. He will get a 2. I mean, I counted him giving away the ball 3 times, and we were under attack. Yeah. Every time every time Pepe gave away the ball, we were under attack. No communication on the left. Yes, he had one cross straight to the first man. I wanted him to take that free kick. He left it for Ceballos. I just don't understand. No leadership at Arsenal. So for today, another poor performance, and he was lucky to start today, probably because of the injuries we've picked up. And the next time he doesn't start, unfortunately. He'll be relegated to the Europa League game on Thursday, so he will get a 2 for today. Very, very poor. You expect him to take hold of such games, so he's very poor today again. He'll get a 2. The next one is Aubameyang. I mean, we wanted him center striker, but still no difference again.
Yeah, no difference. And that reminds me of one tweet I read. I think was it yesterday, but one, and someone I think it was TalkSport who were asking that if Aubameyang doesn't score when you play him through the middle, who are you going to blame? And the question just came out true and right. Who do you blame back? I don't blame Aubameyang. Still, I don't blame Aubameyang. If you put me as a striker, you've got to create chances for me. If you put me as a striker, you've got to provide chances. You've got to provide goal-scoring opportunities for me. Aubameyang needs goal-scoring opportunities. He didn't, he doesn't get them. Today, he didn't get any. Against Leeds, he was so lost. Actually, I think when he plays down through the left, he's even more, he's better because he has the ball. He engages in play, plays with Saka, plays with Tierney, and you feel like, he's involved in the game, although he's not scoring. When he played through the middle, oh my God, totally. Actually, exactly. He was. I think he was invisible. He was invisible.
The thing is with him, when you have such pace in the middle, I want to see through passes like FIFA kind of, like 3-4, like the way Buddy gets a lot of one-on-one chances. When we have the ball on the wing, Ceballos is passing it back to Bellerin, back to midfield to Xhaka, and then back to Ceballos on the wing, back to Bellerin. Cross hits the first man, we're under attack again. Why don't you give him good crosses? When you have the ball, just cross the ball, not on the air, like just on the ground. Hit the ball. He tried past the first defender and he has the chance. Give through passes, involve him in the game. Now, when he plays in the center, as you said, you start thinking rather even on the left, because now in the center, you won't see him at all, because now we are not creating any chances at all, and it's very, very quiet. So I don't know what we need to do. So what would you give him for today?
I'll give him a 6. There are times, I love him. He's this kind of player. He looks at this, I'm playing in the middle, but it's not any productive. can I fall back? Can I come back and help out with the team? Look for the ball, maybe try to get possession and then run back in my position. I think he did that brilliantly. So brilliantly. I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, Cookie says talks about Liverpool winning 3-0 now. I watched the Arsenal game. I wasn't that mad, but after watching Liverpool, I saw their stats, short stats, 24 shots. I was like, 24 shots, and I'm seeing Arsenal in the 70th minute, 1 shot on target. I'm like, they're so fired. Against Leicester, we missed so many chances in the first half. Second half, we didn't create 1 chance. So that shows you how fired people are. I think in the league right now, you have like number 17 in terms of scoring goals. Same goals with Fulham, same goals with teams like West Brom. So there's definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. I don't know what kind of formation we need to use, but
we have this. We have the same number of goals as Heung-min Son.
Yeah, I think even Calvert-Lewin probably. I mean, they are scoring the same number as so, and those are the teams you're coming to face in December.
Yeah,
so.
we have scored only 2 more goals than Patrick Bamford, Leeds.
The next one is I don't know what to say, man. Just talk. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
An absolute embarrassment. That's the right vocabulary. An absolute embarrassment to himself, to the whole club. You expected to be the difference. You are expected to turn things around. Everything is going so wrong at the club. You're complaining that you could make the situation right, and you're given chance at a club like Leeds, where you thought they have conceded 8 goals, for Christ's sake, in the last 2 games before they played Arsenal. That was a chance for us to get there. And Pepe, if you want to write a statement, you're not going to write again. You're not going to write it against Manchester United or Chelsea, because you may not get the chance, but you can write a statement versus Leeds. You can write a statement versus versus West Brom or something. But he was so bad. For me, he was the worst player on that pitch. You cost us. You cost the whole team. He cost the whole team a game early in the second half. Probably, if we were 11 men, it was obvious he was going to come off. It was obvious. Him, Wiilian, they were going to, and Willock, they had to come off the game. They have to come off the pitch. It was obvious. So he wasted our substitution. That is one. And he totally put us in a position where we couldn't win the game. And I don't know. 72 million pounds, you get that red card. Of course, someone is going to say it's the first red card in his career. Yeah, brilliant, very good, first red card in his career. But that is so bad. That is so bad. I don't know how he can make it up to the club and to himself.
Yeah.
He must be very happy that we got a point in the game we should have lost because of Pepe, and everybody's gonna curse him. I'll give him he's the man I'm going to give a 2 out of 10 today.
2? You're very kind. He gets a straight 0. He cost us the game. We would have lost 4-0. If they took their chances, we would have lost 4-0, and that is because of him. Let me just read the comments about Pepe. Cookie said, I've been defending Pepe for over a year, saying to give him time. I'm sick of it. He's not good enough. Same with Laka. Now, that is how I feel about him and Bellerin after every game. I always defend them, but after every game, you're like, really? You're embarrassing the opinions. You're not doing anything on the pitch. Like, I've seen so many games where the left back is the weakness for the opposition and is not going against players. Every time we take a corner, that also applies to Nelson. It always hits the first man. Every single time. Him, Wiilian, Nelson, they can't have a corner that gets past the first man. HD90 says I could blame Arteta for Pepe sending off. Can you blame Arteta? Because he didn't talk to him. I mean, he's an experienced player. He plays for his country. He's been probably the top scorer in France or something. You're supposed to know the player is trying to get in your head. he's trying to push hands with you. You don't go hitting his head. You're costing the team. Of course, he will roll down. I can't even blame him. I want you to get sent off. I want you guys to have 10 men. I mean, you can't give the referee time to make a decision. You can't give him a chance to make a decision. Would you blame Arteta? Weak manager, as he says.
Of course, all the things that we see on the pitch are reflections of something inside there. And I've already said it. I asked you last time, Pepe going out to the media, and I told you, do you think Arteta was losing his dressing room? He told me no, it was something small. And then I also said maybe it's something small, but the truth is there is no leadership right from the manager at this club. There is no leadership. There is no someone. These players do not have an accountability system process. They don't feel like they are going to account to someone. They feel like they're going to account to their agent. I mean, it's like no one is there to ask questions at the club. It's like no one is there to set the pace. No one is there to set the rules. And even when the rules are there, no one is there to enforce them. That is it. And that's why I might blame Mikel Arteta for now. I think he has been too soft on these players. Too soft. Too soft. But again, it goes back to Pepe as a player. Yes, there could be some frustration. There could be so many things. But that is individual. That is stupid. That is ridiculous. That is, unacceptable. You can't defend that. You can't put that on the manager. You can't put that on frustration from the club. No, that it's the same incidents with Anthony Martial against Tottenham. Remember, they were spanked 6, and you're like, but why did he? Why was he sent off in the first place? If we lost 6-0 today to Leeds, you ask yourself, why was Pepe sent off? Why? Yeah. No, I don't blame Mikel Arteta so much. It is Pepe's stupidity.
Yeah, it is. It's not even just that. As you said, you're given a chance to play, you waste that. You let your players now play 10 times harder for the next 45 minutes. And this is now the busy period. We have games coming up against Everton, Tottenham, Wolves. We have Europa League games. You have a Carabao Cup game against City. And you're making your players work hard after international break. Probably that's why even Saka got injured, getting tired. I know you got hit and stuff, but you're making your players work even harder. And then, when a player, when you're leading 1-0 and a player like Vardy gets past the last man and you pull him back and you get a red card, we will be happy with that. No problem. That's a good red card to take, but not something stupid like that. Like, we're not even going to score a goal. He's not trying to fight for the ball. He just went and he hit someone. Like, that is just stupidity. And now he's out for the next 3 games, Wolves, Burnley, and Tottenham. You don't do that. And now after that, he might not even come back to the team now. We might see him on the bench and people cannot even argue about that now. That just means more of Wiilian, unfortunately for us. So Pepe, you give him a 2, I'm going to give him a 0. He cost the team. He cost them. Maybe he would have gotten some more chances if he was there, but it definitely cost the team. And we were under pressure for the last 40 minutes. We should have conceded, to be fair. So Pepe gets a 0. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. So he needs to learn. The next one is Arteta. Arteta? No, let's get to the subs first. Sorry. Niles, of course, he was on for a few minutes, so he gets a standard 5. I'll start with Nelson. What did you give Nelson?
Yeah, Rhys Nelson came on the game. He thought it was pace. He thought you brought him on for pace. You brought him, to try to add a little bit, of pace to the game. We were so slow. We were so predictable, so flat, so slow. So he brought in Rhys Nelson, which I think was a good step. It was brilliant to bring on Nelson. He has been so brilliant out in the Europa League, out in in these FA Cup games. He was so good, and he should I say try to add something to the game? I don't know, but still, I needed something more practical from him. I needed him to either create a chance, a goal scoring opportunity, or hit the woodwork, or do something like that is a little bit more scary. But I think I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6.
A 6 for Nelson. I think I'd agree with you. I think I saw something there. You might even argue he should start the next game now because the players who are playing are not impressing me. The next one is now Saka. If he took that chance, I would have given him a 10 straight away. What did you make of Saka?
I think he showed us the difference between good and bad, ugly and beautiful. He really gave us the difference, and I was so happy with him. Whenever he's on the pitch, there is something different he tries to do, but he needs to work on his finishing. He needs to work on his finishing. Against Manchester United, he had a free header.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he had a free header against Manchester United. Today, he has a one-on-one, and he doesn't take it. So he needs to work on his finishing. Otherwise, he's going to be the Sterling at Liverpool. He needs to be the Sterling at Manchester City. But I think, he was different. Comes on the pitch, we start attacking using that left wing, and you're like, okay. If we had not got a red card, maybe things would have been better. A 6.5.
I'd give him a 7. Even not even a 7, an 8. If it was a goal, it would have been a 10. An 8 because he totally made the difference. Came 2 chances, 2 good crosses for Aubameyang, and he made the difference totally. It looked very blunt without him on that left side. I couldn't imagine. I was crying for a youngster to come on because Wiilian and Pepe aren't doing anything. So he definitely starts next game without even thinking twice. So it's going to get an 8, our best player today. The next one,
it was a mistake leaving him out of the of the team.
And now he's injured. I hope it's not that long. What did you make of the manager?
Mikel Arteta has refused to play open football. He has refused to play entertaining football. He has continued to play backward football, put so many players behind the ball, and wait for the opponent to make a mistake and punish them. There are times when teams do not make mistakes. And the problem is, even if we wait for teams to make mistakes, we can't punish them. Those tactics cannot work against big teams and small teams. For Christ's sake, a small team comes waiting for you to make a mistake. If you wait for them to make a mistake, it's just too equal. You're just equal to the challenge, and it's going to be flagged. Aston Villa, we play the same kind of game at the Emirates Stadium, but the difference is Aston Villa realized that we had come to sit behind the ball, and they opened us into pieces. If Leeds had 10 more minutes in this game, they should have scored. The game ended with with a corner to Leeds.
Yeah.
You can't play that exactly. You can't play that kind of football against West Brom, Leeds, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Manchester United.
Barcelona,
you can't. Barcelona, it's like for you, it's like you're saying you are an underdog against every team, and you are versing Barcelona every day, which ain't true. His tactics are so bad. His tactics are so bad.
Yeah, he changed to a back 4 though today.
Yeah, he changed to a back 4, but the tactics are bad. Sit behind the ball. Sit behind the ball. Wait for them to make a mistake. What if you don't get to exploit them through mistakes? We need to take we need to take charge. Have that ball. Create chances. Create threats. Arsenal is not. Trust me. If I go to the Emirates Stadium with West Brom and I'm manager, I'm gonna come out with a 2-1. With a 2-1 win. Arsenal do not have any threat. We don't have any threat. And that's because of Mikel Arteta. Against Unai Emery, if you guys still remember, Emery was very good at scoring. Of course, the defensive part was so bad, but we could go forward. We could open up teams, no matter who it was. Score against us, we score against you. It's in Mikel Arteta's system. Don't score against us, we don't score against you. That is not any football that takes us forward. Tactics are bad. Tactics are bad. I'm gonna give him a 3 out of 10. Tactics are bad. You need to change tactics, not the lineup, not the formation, but the the instructions you give to the team. You need to change the instructions.
Would you
3 out
give
of
him
10.
would
3
you
out of
applaud
10.
would you applaud him if we got the reason we got a clean sheet the last 45 minutes? Do you have to give him credit for that?
No, I don't. I don't. The pressure we were, the pressure we were playing under. If I would have, I would have given him credit if we got if we got a red card and then we, played. We went out against Leeds, took the ball to them. They brought us back. We take them back. I would have given him credit, but sitting behind the ball, it's like you have 11 men behind the ball and one is removed. No. I don't give him any credit. I don't give him any credit.
So again, before we played Leeds, how many points did you want in the next 5 games? That was Leeds, Wolves, Tottenham, Burnley, Southampton. How many points did you want from those 5 games?
Apart from Tottenham Hotspur, I wanted to win the rest of the 4 and draw against Spurs. I think 15 points. I wanted 14. I wanted 14, but
13. You wanted 13 from those.
13. Yeah, I wanted 13. I wanted 13, but it's no longer possible.
It's no longer possible. You can only get less, or you can only get less. So, do you think we'll get 12, or do you think we'll get 9, or 3, or 1?
Definitely, we are going to lose against Tottenham Hotspur. We shall draw against Wolves. Those are already 2 points out of possible 9. Then Southampton has been so good this season. They are high up the table. They're high up the table, and their football is so good. You don't expect to beat them. It should, maybe it's another draw. We might beat Burnley. We might get something like 7 points out of possible 15.
I can't believe that we are asking each other at home to Burnley and Southampton, and we are not sure. We are not confident we can win those games.
Exactly.
The thing I loved with back in the day, as much as people hate the likes of Adebayo and Van Persie, when we had those 2 players, this kind of teams, the Portsmouth, the Southamptons at home, we used to beat them 5-0, 5-1. When we had the likes of, he's gone. When we had the likes of, Sanchez, Ozil, we used to win all those games. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it's just everything, man. So that was your player ratings. I'm glad he disappeared after we finished. So thank you everyone for watching. Cookie, I appreciate your comments. He says in the next 4 games, let's see, how many points do you guys think we'll pick up in the next 4 games? 2-1 loss at Wolves. Wow, 3-1 loss at Spurs, 1-0 win versus Burnley, 1-1 draw. So just 4 points. So if you get 4 points from those games, he'll definitely be in trouble. We can't pick up 4 points from those games. There are 3 home games in that. So basically, we have to win all our home games. That is not allowed. Let's see, big up. Thank you, Arsenal Fan Reviews. Thank you. Keep making great content. Not super happy. Not even happy. Forget super happy. At 3 disgraceful passing back to the goalkeeper. Yes, it's Pepe's fault for the red card, but it would have never mattered if we had taken chances early in the game. It's not even about taking. We don't even create, leave alone taking. We would have been on that pitch for another 360 minutes with 11 men, and we'd have created maybe 2 more chances. That's how bad it is. So we are definitely struggling, but man of the match, I'd give Leno and then Saka. Leno is my best player today, and then Saka. So yeah, I'm really hoping we do something different. Of course, we'll probably win against Molde, probably 2-1 or something, and then against Wolves. Traore has been starting on the bench, but next time they'll probably put him in. So I'm just hoping he changes something. I just really hope he changes something. But yeah, Cookie, Arsenal Fan Reviews, HJ90, thank you all for your comments. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow probably to review the game with different people. So thank you very much for watching. 1-1 draw against Leeds. Leno, my man of the match. Saka was brilliant today. Pepe gets a 0, very disappointing. Wiilian gets a 2, very disappointing. Something needs to change very, very fast. Thanks for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.